Bostanai, which, first of all, the name Bostanai is not a real proper name. It's seemingly a kind of a nickname. What his real name was, some think that he was called Hanina. It seems to be unlikely because whatever we know about him he was this Bostanai ben Haninai. That was his name. Now, Bostanai means, Bustan is in Persian a garden, an orchard. So he was called Bostanai because of a story connected with the garden. But this is the name that is known for in history, in his time and for many hundreds of years later. So this was Bostanai, the story. And now I'm saying, whether the story is, now we have very few sources, and the story is that the last king of the Persian Empire decided to destroy these rulers, the exilarchs, the Rashi Gola, to destroy all of them. And so he killed all those that he could lay hands on, which was commonplace in those times. Now we do it in different ways, but in those times it was done. And so the story is that the only one that remained of the family of David was an unborn baby. This was this Bostanai, who was then he was not born yet. And the story goes that the king of Persia had a dream that he enters into a garden and he's with an axe and cuts off the trees, one tree after the other, and then when he comes to the last tree, an old man comes and stops him. Don't cut this tree. And the story is that the king was unhappy about the dream. And he asked, in fact, a Jewish scholar, what is the meaning of the dream? And the Jewish scholar told him that what you saw is really the family of David. And the old man that you saw is the King David. And he urged you not to cut the tree, not to cut the last tree. So the little child was spared and was allowed to go. And this was Bostanai, who was the heir as Rosh Gola for the kingdom. He was in fact born into being a prince. So that is the story, and therefore this is because of the garden that the king saw. He is called the child of the garden, Bostanai. That is the story that is found in some of those sources that remained from those times. Anyway, there seems to be some need to explain such a name, which is not a name. So it's something like the garden boy, the orchard boy. See, something like this. That was the name Bostanai. Incidentally, in modern times, there are here and there children called Bostanai. Not very many. Don't know why. Possibly because it's uncommon, and also because the story is not well known. Now, so Bostanai was seemingly, he grew up, and after, when he was about 16, he assumed ruler, to be a ruler. Before that was somebody that was the fellow who really was his guardian. But later on he became the ruler, and then he was introduced to the king.